with one of your fathers. As a memento.
Hello, this is Greg McIntyre Elder Law, and this is at the conference table with Hayden and Greg. And Tucker came along too. So this is Tucker.
Tucker's your son.
Tucker's my youngest son. He is, tell me how old you are and what you are and who you are.
I'm 12 years old. I'm a student at TJ, and my name's Tucker McIntyre.
Okay, and he just wanted to hang out with us today. I think Hayden was talking to him about our subject matter today, and he had some things to contribute, I believe, right? And can I see that, Hayden?
Sure.
Okay. So I wanted to move it out of the way a little bit. So we're talking about memories and memorabilia today, and I wanted to do this because when I meet with clients sometimes, and maybe this week, sometimes there's tearful moments about what matters most to them. I met with someone this week, and it made me think about what matters most to me. And sometimes it's not necessarily, even though, there might be a large 100,000 in investments or 300,000 in investments. Many times, to seniors, it's the little things that matter. It's the stuff that's in your house. The stuff. SCHTUF.
That's important stuff.
Yeah, really important stuff. Okay? So, that you want to leave your children or grandchildren, and I started thinking about things in my house that when I touch them, bring me exactly back to the time and place. Like I should have brought my baseball glove.
Yes.
I meant to this morning. I left it, and because the baseball glove I had in high school, it'll take me back to the smell of cut grass and many years on the baseball diamond and how much I loved and missed it. Or I'll look back through photo albums, and it's just you get lost in those moments, and those things carry so much sentimental value.
Exactly.
That's right. Carry so much sentimental value with them.
I bet Tucker's even got something of sentimental value that he owns.
Do you have anything of sentimental value that you own?
Let me think. Yes. In 3rd grade, Miss Jones, she was my teacher. She's a great teacher. She's my favorite teacher. So in 3rd grade, we spent the night at the zoo, and we all had this thing that there was an animal paw print in it.
You gotta talk to them. Talk louder.
When I was in 3rd grade, I had Miss Jones, my favorite teacher, and we spent the night at the zoo, Greenville Zoo.
I bet you they can't hear you. I spent the night with you at the Greenville Zoo.
No, you didn't.
I didn't?
No.
Did anybody go, or did you go by yourself?
I went by myself.
Oh, okay. Oh, I've been to some science place overnight before, where we pet sharks and stuff.
That was Cub Scouts.
Oh, was that Cub Scouts?
Yeah, we spent the night at the museum.
Okay, night at the museum. That's right. Okay.
So at the zoo, they had these things where an animal had stepped in it, and so we added cement and stuff and painted it, and it says your name and stuff, and it's really cool because it's the animal paw print, and it's hard, and you can it doesn't wear out. You can just keep it, and so I've kept that since 3rd grade, and it's really cool.
And you'll probably keep it as long as you can. And when you look at it, you'll remember that, and when you think about it, you remember that whole event, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And that has a story, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay. I think those are the most important things that we can pass on, are our memorabilia items and our stories. Now, money makes things happen. Sends kids to college, right? And so that's important to pass on too, and we do that here at McIntyre Elder Law. But the sentimental things, the little things, really you want to develop a mechanism to pass those on. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. Didn't you tell Hayden, Miss Hayden, what did you think that I would want to pass on? Or was it what you would want, what he would want?
What you would want most of yours.
Of mine?
Yes.
What would you want most of mine?
your money. No, I'm just kidding.
At least you're honest.
Just kidding. I wanted that Mickey Mouse thing. It's like the stuffed animal that you like kept, and it's like really cool.
The stuffed animal of Mickey Mouse that I've had that has the little, if you pump the hand, like the legs walk.
I didn't know that.
Yes, if you pump the hand, the legs walk. It's an old Mickey Mouse that I had when I was a kid. And the second I see it, I remember being a kid, and seeing that thing,
Cute.
Or the weird leather ET.
You still
I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. It's got to be somewhere.
I remember those things.
It was a weird leather ET, and my parents bought me a leather ET because they were told that I was allergic to stuff. So I had to have like a leather stuffed animal. So I got no love from the puffy stuffed animals.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Or like, the canvas ET or whatever it was. So
sad childhood.
I was a sad childhood. Yeah, I was a neglected child.
Leather glove and a leather ET.
It's just a white room with nothing but a leather ET in me. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, those things take you back, when you were a kid or back to many moments. Some things can be sad, like a love letter, from back in the day or something you might run across.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever do that, but what about you, Hayden?
Well, I brought several things. I don't know that they fall into the same category as some things that I didn't bring. My father made me a bedroom suit. It's a chest of drawers, and a bed. And he made it from scratch, from raw wood. And he made me a Celtic harp, which I have not yet learned to play.
A Celtic harp?
A Celtic harp. It's beautiful. The wood is beautiful, and yeah. He made my mother a 5-foot harp. He was very creative and
That's
very
pretty cool.
talented. I think about the little things that bring back memories to me. I've collected shells from all but 3 states in the United States. Alaska, Texas, and Vermont. And so for Vermont, the one that has that little bitty space of land that touches the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I've gotten to the states above and below it, but not that. And one of the things that I collected in the Bahamas was this. And you can't touch it, but it weighs almost nothing. Feel that? It's very fragile. It's like a sand dollar, but it's more fragile than a sand dollar. And when I was in the Bahamas, I met people who were shellers and beachcombers, and met a lady who told me where to get these things. It was so fragile that when you touched them, it crushed, into nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And what you had to do is actually dig the sand out from under it and lift it up like that. And this is the only one that I have left. I have 3. And you have to know where to find them, and you have to get them at a certain tide level. So I worked for this one.
And for those who don't know, you lived about 2 years on the sea, didn't you?
Well, I lived on a sailboat. We made crossings, to the Bahamas, and
right.
Went up and down the waterway. But we stayed mostly in the Abacos and the Exumas, Bahamas. And so I collected some shells there, but I've always collected shells. It's not for everybody, but I was meant for that life. But I meant more for children and grandchildren. So here I am.
Gotcha.
But that's something. And here's one other thing I collected in the Bahamas. I collected conch. We ate them. And to get them out, there's a little hole right here. You'll find a lot of them that you see in stores where you do a claw hammer and cut a hole and release the little creature, the conch, out of there. And they are nasty to clean, but they are really the most unique tasting food I've ever
I've
tasted.
had conch.
It's
little
really
rubbery.
Yeah, but what you have to do, you have to take one of these mallets with the points on them, and you have to pound it until it's as thin as lace. That's the only way to eat it. Otherwise, you're going to be chewing for a long time.
Right.
But this is really important to me because it's when my children and I moved into a house. It was after a marriage. We're still friends, but I wanted peace and no fighting and no arguing. And this is Latin, and what it means is small house, great peace. And I have had that for, about 50 something years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been in every one of my homes, and I've lived by this. And everybody who lives in my home lives by this. We're going to have peace. We can have all arguments, but we're going to have peace.
Sure.
So,
Can we know this?
yes, you want to know about George?
Yes.
Who's that?
George Washington. So George Washington's great-great-grandchildren, you know what they have?
No, what? Tell them.
They have his teeth. That's what they wanted.
That was their memorabilia?
Yep.
His great-great-grandchildren have his teeth?
Mhm.
What is his real ones or his false ones?
No, that's just a joke. That's not real.
No?
No.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah.
That's pretty horrible. So why is that one important to you, Hayden?
I've always been somewhat
Politically
political.
inclined,
Yeah, I was at age 22 the registrar in my precinct.
right?
But later on, after childbearing and child raising and all these things that distract you from things more important than buying groceries and taking kids to sports, I became aware of some things that really bothered me that were going on and went to a rally in Washington. And the first store I went into, I saw this, and George Washington's always been a figure in history that was important to me. I admire him greatly. I've read a lot about him, and there may be some that are more gallant and more heroic and more passionate, but he exemplifies that very well, and I saw that and bought it, and it just reminds me every day that I care and that I love my country.
Okay.
One more thing.
One more thing.
This is my Irish Santa. My grandson has red hair. It's subtly red, but it's red. And he told me one day he didn't like it. And I showed him the Santa, and I said, that is a gift from your ancestors who are Irish. And they came over here. They were hard workers. They established, themselves, and they worked hard. And I said, this is important that you remember where you came from, and that's a signal or a sign of where you came from. And so he likes this. So he will, someday, this will be his.
Cool.
So
So
that's it. All my toys.
I just took a couple of things I had in the office, which is a picture of me in the military when I was 21, when I graduated from a training school in uniform, which is pretty cool.
Well, you went around the world in that uniform, didn't you?
Man, I did. I've been around the world. Yes, I have. And a project that I worked on for a company, a tech company, when I first got out of the military. Think, where I made the inside cover of Newsweek, okay? Those things really matter.
Yeah.
And I've got baseball gloves at home and pictures and albums of different things. My diploma is on the wall. I guess matter a little bit. I put a lot of work into those.
Yeah, that matters.
A lot of work, a lot of money,
a little bit.
a lot of time.
It is worth a lot of money. Still paying it back. So how do we pass these things? How have you seen people pass on memorabilia like that?
Well, my mother's trying to pass on her things now, and I can't take them. It just doesn't seem right. We'll take them after she passes them on to me.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I've seen people fight over the most apparently insignificant things, but it might have been Grandma's tea kettle. That's what she made tea in every day of her life, and both of the sisters want it. Or Grandpa's old shotgun that he used to hunt with. And there are ways to stop your children from fighting. I would rather they be mad at me in the grave than each other alive.
So how are you going to tell your kids, look, I want you to have the Irish Santa. This child has the Irish Santa. This child has the George Washington bust.
I really didn't give a lot of thought to that. I just always thought, well, Princeton, this is yours. You can have
Right.
it.
And you hope they get it.
Sure. And but now I've we were talking about this week, have decided
I have seen people put yard sale stickers on the back of paintings and pictures and on furniture. I've seen people do that and put kids' or grandkids' name on it.
Oh, I thought you were selling it at a yard sale. Okay, so you're just identifying that.
I've seen people identify memorabilia, other things, personal property, small, non-titled assets, not the house, not the car, but just everything in the house, write something like on a sticker and put it on there.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
And I've also heard of people who put information on the back as to where it came from. If it had some kind of significance, if it was an original
That's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, because it may be something very valuable that to someone else. You can see art in museums. If you found that in someone's house and did not know it was painted by Picasso or Gauguin or somebody like that, it's going to the yard sale. So, you know, it's always
There's
nice
been famous
to know.
paintings or very expensive paintings sold at yard sales before.
Absolutely.
Speaking of George Washington and yard sales, I got this like George Washington painting at a yard sale.
You did. Is that still in your room?
Yes, and I don't know if that's
An
valuable,
original or not?
if that's like an original, but it's really cool, and it doesn't seem like it's new.
Okay.
Maybe you can get it checked out sometime.
I'll tell you what we do. With our wills, we have something called a personal property memorandum. Okay? I'll show you a little bit about what it looks like. So it's a personal property memorandum. And it would have the person's name on it. And you would be able to write the description of the tangible personal property item, the person who's going to receive it, address and relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my son Tucker and your address, because you're going to have to move out of the house at some point, okay? And then if I want my wife to get it, and I only want Tucker to get it if my wife's predeceases me, passes first, then I put a star right there. And we furnish several pages. If you got a lot of stuff, we'll give you as many pages as you need. You can come back and get pages. And we found that's a really nice way to pass personal property. Now we have a clause in our wills that is the distribution of personal property by memorandum, by tangible personal property by memorandum. And it directs your executor to distribute all your small personal property items, really sentimental items, by this memorandum. And you just put that right with your will. So that's a neat way to do it too.
I think so.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I think that our clients really like that. Okay? And especially the wives.
Yeah, I noticed at one of the signings we
Yeah.
had, it was like, oh, it's like, that's a great idea.
That's
and
right.
It really is.
That's right. So that's how we do it. And, you know, there certainly are other large items that you can save and pass to, like your home. And we have different strategies for that, like trust or ladybird deeds for the home. And we have trust for, like we talked about last week, and the Medicaid Asset Protection Trust, which was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun at the golf course.
Yeah.
That was short. We're coming to you from the hurricane today, live from the hurricane. So
What is this for?
that's
For
if you want to
Matthew,
put a star
for
there,
posterity.
then it would go to your wife or your husband. If they were died before you, it would go to whoever you named here. Okay? So that's how that works. You're still getting used to you with glasses, by the way.
Yeah,
You should keep these as your first set of glasses.
I will.
And the first dollar you make from your first job. If you can think
I
ahead
was-
of things that you want to say, or things I wish.
So I just wanted to talk about memories and and mementos, memorabilia, mementos. And Tucker was here talking about what he thought he'd want of mine, so I thought that was pretty cool. I'll give you my Mickey Mouse, okay?
Cool.
I think it's in my closet. And I've got a BB gun that's really cool too,
Cool.
that my grandfather bought me, because my parents wouldn't buy it for me. They wouldn't buy me a BB gun because they were afraid of what I'd do with it in our neighborhood.
Mom's the same though.
Is
Mom,
she?
Yeah, she doesn't want me to have
A BB gun?
BB gun.
We should go shoot mine.
Well, maybe now because I'm older, but I don't really like ask for a BB gun for a while, so. I like,
We should go somewhere other than where we live and shoot mine. Okay, we'll do that, all right?
Yeah, that would be fun.
All right, we'll go do that.
We got to the shooting range. I think it's $5 for the year or something. You fill out a little form and.
I don't know if I've got to go to the shooting range to shoot my BB
No,
gun.
but it's just an open place, a
Yeah.
safe place.
Pellet gun.
Good place to learn.
Cute
But you
gun.
have to take a little, you have to watch a video. And it's about gun safety.
Okay.
So, pretty cool.
Well, thanks for joining us at the conference table. It's been Greg and Hayden at the conference table and talking about mementos and memories, okay?
Yeah.
And how to pass
Oh,
those.
Tucker.
And Tucker.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next week. What are we talking about next week?
Well, I don't know. I'm supposed to come up with a topic.
All right, we'll come up with a topic for next week, okay?
Yes.
The debates.
The debates. Let's have a debate next week.
Okay. I don't know what we'll debate.
All right.
We can find a subject.
Tucker and I are going to debate next week.
There
All right?
you go.
We're going to debate. We need to get some podiums or something, okay?
Okay.
And we're going to debate.
Okay.
It'll be like Trump and Hillary.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah?
that's
No?